1980, on a quiet stretch of Venice Beach, 7 youthful architects gathered for what would become an iconic photograph. At the time, they were bold innovators, shaping a new architectural language rooted in Los Angeles, but destined for global impact. This single image captured the energy of a moment, a group of creators poised to redefine their craft. 45 years later, 4 members of that group reunite to reflect on their groundbreaking careers, the city they helped transform, and the enduring legacy of their work. Tom Main is a Pritzker Prize award-winning architect and co-founder of Morphosis, known for bold, unconventional buildings in cities across the globe. Eric Owen Moss is best known for transforming a stretch of Culver City into a neighborhood of wild, one-of-a-kind structures. Craig Hodges is a designer who blends architecture with pop culture and technology, co-founding the influential firm Hodgetts & Fung. Frederick Fisher has created many beloved spaces for museums, schools, and artists that feel welcoming and serene. Through candid conversations and a restaging of that legendary photograph, this film charts the evolution of their ideas, their friendships, and the architectural soul of Los Angeles itself.
Slight, just sort of sidebar for just a moment, little detour. It's a lot of guy time, all of this. You know, guy time in the photo. Where are the women in this? Are there women in this picture?
When I went to undergraduate school, there was over 100 people, there's 1 woman. I go back to graduate school 10 years later, and it's 50-50. And for some reason, architecture is one of the last to absorb women, after medicine, after dentistry, after law, et cetera. It's
true. The worst in terms of equity, in terms of women's involvement. My father was an architect, and so I was peripherally, aware of the profession. But my mother was the one that sent me to the Cleveland Art Museum and instilled that, which, then went to undergraduate and then my affinity for the art world here. But I was immediately aware of that when starting at UCLA graduate school, that our class was 50% women.
I know, it was very amazing.
And at first it just seemed normal until somebody pointed out, this is really something. This hasn't happened before. And yet it's not automatic in terms of having the women at the table.
When Ming and I started our practice, I remember the sense of being so far outside of the architectural culture and having an Asian woman as my partner. I felt like a pioneer at that point.
When you formed a partnership with Ming
Absolutely,
Fung,
absolutely.
Partner in life and work.
Yeah, but mostly in work. Work was a stronger bond, if you can imagine, than the romantic one. Work was so kind of bookended by different sets of concerns. And we'd always have to, there was a lot of pulling and tugging to find an appropriate answer that we agreed on. We couldn't storm out.
By the end of the day or by the end of the project?
Or ever.
Oh. Well, it was just, you had to give up a certain portion of yourself to the partnership. And the impact that had on my design process and on the concerns that we had, they became much more nurturing, much more eclectic, much less ego-driven. And I would swear that comes out of having a female partner.
Interesting. I wonder if Ming would feel happy with the being framed as nurturing, because that's like such a classic sort of synonym for being a woman or something. I'm not sure that it necessarily should be, but it's interesting what you've just said. But Tom, you also have a very strong partner, of course, in
I
life.
was just going to bring that up.
Tell us all about
Yeah, but not a design
Connects
partner
the
per
two things
se.
you just said, that I have a project, and it's definitely my project. And I've been working on this project for the time we're talking about, for 50 years. And I'm somewhat limited in the amount of energy I put in. It's pretty singular to this project. And I have a partner who essentially grounds me and is involved in literally every aspect of day-to-day life and all the realities that have to do with that are outside of the singularity of my artistic project, which consumes all of my energy. And it's, I couldn't imagine who I'd be without this partner, and it happened to be a partner of 44 years. And it's not a nurturing partner, that'd be unfair. It's way, way beyond that. It's an active partner that's engaged in literally every aspect of my life, whether it's pragmatic or emotional, intellectual, etc. That's a component of who I am, and we're inseparable. There used to be a joke with friends of mine that there was no fair because I had the Blythe factor. And she's kind of known in the community for a while, that she makes things happen, and things that I'm either oblivious to or that are not my series of skill sets are part of her skill sets. And she happens to be the opposite of me. She's an extremely broad person that has abilities on multiple territories. Or again, it's a joke in our family. I'm the arrow. I'm the guy that constantly does this, right? And she's this, and so it's inseparable.